What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we have a great comparison. Two short course, 1/10 scale 4x4 trucks. Over here we've got the Traxxas Slash, one with almost 2 decades of legacy in the short course truck game. Newer to the scene is the Arrma Senton 223S. Both of these trucks are fast and both of these trucks are tough. Let's see which one is best. I've wanted to do this comparison for a while. I think it'll be a good one. I'm not biased about this at all. Maybe I'm a little biased, but I do give credit to Traxxas. This truck's been around for a while, and as you saw if you watched the review of this truck, it's got the heritage, and I respect that. As I typically do in these kinds of comparisons, let's compare them on a number of different categories and see how they match up. Starting with looks. I've always been fond of the new Arrma styling where they've done sort of a retro look, 80s or 90s. I really like this pink and blue and purple styling. My daughter did too, which is part of the reason I got it. 1, 2, 3. Oh, you like it? Traxxas, on the other hand, I've never been too fond of. I don't like the graphics. They just look retro in a non-cool way to me. Sort of like they didn't mean to be retro. Let's get into the weight and the size differences. The bumper on the Slash may give it a slight edge on length. Yeah, just a slight edge. Let's go ahead and look at the weight. So the Senton comes in at 8 pounds, 2.2 ounces. And with the Slash, wow, way lighter. 5 pounds, 6 ounces. Holy moly, huge difference. So that's going to favor this thing in terms of speed and possibly agility. Once we get into the different features of these trucks, it may make more sense as to why they're lighter. They both feature a clipless body system. Traxxas having the one that's been tried and true for much more time. And they unclip on the sides here, reaching your hands under the wheel wells to do so. You can see there's not a lot of plastic in here, so that keeps it pretty light. Arrma recently came up with this clipless body system, and for that they've done a different way. It's got these buttons that you depress in the front and the rear, as well as a hook system in the front here. To be honest, it's quite cumbersome, and it took me quite a while to figure out how exactly this thing works, how you take it off and how you put it on. It's not that fun. A couple things that I've noticed about it so far that are not my favorite are, well, it will be the top if it sticks like that, but look at the difference there. It's got a bunch of shrouding in here to keep out mud, dirt, and debris. It's got some extra supports down the center on the sides here. It's got a much bulkier plastic system, which will only serve to protect it when you're slamming down, rolling, and hitting rocks and stuff. So even the plastic itself feels a lot thicker. So let's take a look at the weight difference between the tops. That comes in at 9.7 ounces. And for the Senton, 1.35. So quite a bit heavier on this. So you can see part of it at least comes from the body itself. Diving into some of the other differences between the two, it's just clear that all around Arrma went for toughness on this truck. It's got a thick plastic tub on the chassis that keeps out dirt, but it also serves for strength. The bumpers itself too, look at how big that bumper is in the rear. You can see the chassis on the bottom being very thick. It's got metal gears. Even the drive shafts themselves are pretty thick. The Traxxas, on the other hand, it's just built very thin and agile. The tires seem pretty similar. Traxxas having more of a realistic looking BF Goodrich style tire, so it's going for that more of a scale look. Arrma, on the other hand, has, this is actually a D-boot Fortress tire, a smaller version built for this 223S, but the same one that goes on the Mojave 4S and the 6S, just in a smaller package. Another big difference for the weight is that the Senton comes with 3 differentials, whereas the Traxxas Slash has a shaft-driven system that is only the front and the rear, and even those are quite small looking. So that can account for quite a bit of weight right there. Both of these trucks feature a 2 or 3S capable electronic system. Arrma has a 2-in-1 ESC and receiver, it being 80 amps with a 3100 kV motor. Traxxas, on the other hand, has a higher kV motor at 3500 with this VXL 3S ESC. On the manufacturer's packaging, the trucks feature slightly different top speeds. The Traxxas saying 60 plus and Arrma saying 50 plus. In order to achieve that with the Traxxas Slash, however, it requires you to switch out the pinion gear from the stock 13 tooth to this 19 tooth pinion. It does come with it, but you've got to switch it out to get that 60 plus. If you're new to the hobby or you like getting steering assistance, they both have their own version of that. As for the servos, Arrma has an upside down mounted one called the S662, whereas the Traxxas has one called the 2075. I don't know the difference, quite honestly, but they're both upside down mounted. You can even see the Traxxas one sticking through the bottom here. Let's give a servo race here. They seem pretty similar, guys. I can't tell a difference. Now, Arrma has fans on its ESC and motor, adding some weight, also adding some cooling. Traxxas does not. It has a heat sink on it, but no fans at all. As far as price, though, the Traxxas comes in at $429. If you watched my first video of the unboxing of this truck, you saw that there's tons of different varieties of Traxxas Slashes. This is one of the versions, but if you don't like that price, there's plenty more options where that came from. This comes in lower at $379, so this one beats it out on price by a fair margin. Being that both of these are from the big name players in RC, Traxxas and Arrma, you're not going to have any problem with finding parts for either of these trucks. Definitely look in the video description of this video and all my other videos for any links like that. If you're in the New England area, however, and you like shopping in person or you want to help out your local hobby shop, RC Madness is where it's at. I've got the shirt on right here. I'm talking about them a lot, and I'll be going there with these trucks in just a minute. So I'm just going to change this pinion here from the slower 13 tooth to this 19 tooth that it comes with. There we go. Alright. So we'll just see what we can get. It's on 3S. I'm guessing somewhere in the low 40s, mid 40s. Don't want to hit that guy. Read 43. All right, 43. That's about what I predicted. Now, let's switch over to the Slash. This should be much faster. Got it on 3S, Traxxas battery. Thinking the tires are rubbing, but it wants to wheelie, it's going so fast. Sounds terrible. Oh, it's three-wheeling it. Whoa. Stop. 50. Okay, not 60. 50, huh? Interesting. snow is very bumpy for the little truck. There we go. Super bumpy, super icy. It'd be better if I had bigger tires, but for something like this, it's pretty hard. But it's handling it. Oh. Oh, nice. Nice little pop. Look at the size of this snowball. Thing's insane. Thing's huge. Yeah. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I want it to slide more. This is so bumpy. There we go. It's a little more slippery out here. That's cool. And the battery died. That's because it's so cold out here. These batteries don't last too long. So not too much snow got in the actual drivetrain or electronics. I think that's thanks in part to this tub. We'll see how that compares when the Traxxas goes in the snow too. So this one definitely struggles a little bit more than the Senton, given how lightweight it is. So it helps on the flat surfaces, but once it comes to this snow, or I would imagine sand, it makes it feel like a two-wheel drive truck. See, I'm pinned. So it's really hard. There we go. You really have to have momentum going. Wow, that's a lot of wheel spin. This is the section that should be easier for it. Little sliding. Even that's a little hard. Yeah, this is crazy. So definitely not a snow truck. That's where the Senton shines. The heavier weight just really helps it dig in. We'll see how it does in a carpet situation. I would imagine this might be a little better because it's so lightweight. Oh, it's hard to even hit the ramps because it's so bouncing all over the place. Speed run on the snow. And the battery died, which is no surprise. This thing was like spinning its wheels like crazy to try to get some traction in the snow. So remember how I showed you how little snow got into the Senton? Well, a little bit of a difference here with the Slash. Snow cake. Yeah, and it's a good thing for waterproof electronics. I'm over here at RC Madness. This is their carpet track, and I've got both trucks here. We can take them on the track and see how they do. As you can see over there, this is where all the workstations are, where people can work on their trucks, and way over there is another track. They've also got a pretty amazing rock crawler track here that goes all back here. If you haven't been here before, definitely come check it out. Here's another little rock crawler track as well. Just tons of stuff. This is where they have all the stuff. They actually rent slashes and stuff like that, even rock crawlers if you guys want to drive but don't really have the equipment to do it. They got planes and tons, boats. Look at all the tires and stuff. This place is awesome. There's one of the mini Slashes. Yeah, this place is sick. They've even got used buggies and stuff over here. Yeah, these are all like used trucks that people are selling, mini rock crawlers. But yeah, this is it. This is Tyler. He works there. What's up?
Tyler, RC Madness. Ian down here shooting some video on the indoor carpet track, rip around the Slash 4x4 and the new Senton. Anybody wants to come down and stop down and use the track, it's a great size truck that he's reviewing, both of those trucks there. You can come down and bring your truck to the track. When it warms up in the summer, we got a whole outdoor program, the Bastion area. Check out some other videos Ian's done, because I know for a fact he's been back there in the Bastion area ripping around. So if you're interested in that, check us out, rcmadness.com. We got a bunch of info on there. And then obviously come down to the shop and hang out with us.
I'm here nice and early before too many people get here. Already there's a buggy. So we'll start out with the Senton here. Ooh. It's a heavy truck for this kind of a track, but that's okay.
Also whisper.
Oh, jeez. Oh. I'm giving these trucks a run for their money here. There we go, just up there nice and smooth. Oh, hit my camera. That's my cue to try the Traxxas. Traxxas obviously being much lighter, and I'm sure we'll be able to feel that. Oop. It's definitely already feeling punchier too. Oh. Hard to keep it on its wheels once to roll. Truck's so much quicker. Light and nimble. If I was better with this kind of driving, I think this would probably be the ideal truck. But since I'm not, I'm kind of all over the place with it. Jesus. Yeah, see, I can, for some reason, I can keep the Senton on course a little easier. This is a little harder, but there we go. Definitely requires more practice. That traction roll is easy to happen. Jeez. Wheelies on the track. It's super sensitive compared to the Senton. It's a lot less forgiving. You kind of need to be a little better of a driver when you do it. And so that's a very clear difference. But yeah, again, if I was a better driver, this thing would be a beast. It's very fast, very responsive. This thing's much less responsive, more forgiving, and just easier all around to drive. On different surfaces, different approaches. I think where this thing would probably shine the most would be the dirt. Unfortunately, given that it's winter in New England, that's really not going to work very well. But we got it on 3 different surfaces: road, snow, and carpet. So there you have it, guys. You've got lightweight and speed over here with Traxxas, and the tough durability on a heavier platform with Arrma. Whatever one you prefer, go with that. Big shout out to Tyler at RC Madness and all the guys there for hooking this up and letting me use their track. I don't usually pick a favorite on my own because I weigh all the pros and cons here for you to decide. But you know I'm a little biased for the Arrmas. Hope you enjoyed that video. Stay tuned for the next one. I do lots of reviews, lots of comparisons, and in the winter time, that's usually what I do most of. I'll have links in the description for both of these trucks. See you in the next one.